name is Mariela, and I am wearing a t-shirt that says, "The future is accessible." The t-shirt is black with white letters. It also has my handle, Private Karen. I am a tan woman of Dominican descent. I have box braids in my hair. Behind me there is a cream colored wall. It's an initiative for us to have frank conversations about disability, about accessibility, about the realities of being a person living in the world as a person with a disability. So over the next few weeks, we're going to have lots of really awesome conversations with people across the spectrum of hearing disability, with people across the spectrum of disability, sharing honest stories about our struggles, our wins, our challenges. So I'm really excited to be on this journey with all of you.
Hi everyone, my name's Angela Piazza. I go by she or her. I have cerebral palsy and hearing loss. I'm very involved in my community. I'm on the Commission for Disabilities in San Mateo County. I'm also former Miss Wheelchair California 2019. I'm involved with the Miss Wheelchair California Leadership Institute and the Miss Wheelchair America organization. For work, I work with a company called FAR, which is Family Housing and Adult Resources. We're a nonprofit organization that assists developmentally disabled adults. My studies in college had nothing to do with disabilities at all. Actually, my major was criminal justice with a minor in communications. My favorite hobby, I love to crochet. Crocheting makes my blood pressure stay down, and I enjoy creating things for others. I'm a white woman with dark brown hair with a few gray streaks in it. I have red framed glasses on, red t-shirt, and you might see a mic with a blue flashing light. I'm using that so you can hear me. I'm sitting in front of closet doors that are white in color.
Question number 1. What does accessibility look like for you?
Accessibility to me would mean that everything is inclusive, that it would be easier and safer to get around my community.
Question number 2. Have you ever tried to hide your disability?
Yes, I have. I have tried to hide the way I stand for pictures. When I was younger, I hated taking pictures. As I got older and I started using my wheelchair, in pictures, I would try to hide my wheelchair. I wouldn't take pictures in my wheelchair. But that has all changed now, and I'm actually embracing my wheelchair and my disability.
Question number 3. Who are your disabled role models?
My disabled role model would be Judy Human. I really just learned a lot about her in the last few years. Just finished reading her book. Amazing woman. She's done so much. And thanks to her and so many others, we now have the 504 and the Americans with Disability Act.
Question number 4. What advice would you give your younger self in regard to disability?
I would give my younger self the advice that you can do a lot more than you thought you could. And you better start advocating early. I wish I had advocated a lot sooner. But knowing now, I will teach the younger generation of those with disabilities to start your fight early. Yeah, it stinks that we've got to fight, but it's important. But during that fight, you can teach so many more people. And I encourage you all to educate others about your disability and also learn about other disabilities. Don't put yourself in a bubble like I did, because there's so much more out there.
Question number 5. Has your disability impacted your relationships?
Yes. My hearing loss has impacted my whole family. They tell me to lower my voice. They say I'm speaking too loud. They say, you didn't hear what I said. I'm like, no, you're talking too softly. Or that isn't what I said when I repeat it. And I'm like, well, that is how I hear it. So please understand that it is difficult, is what I tell them. And they're slowly beginning to learn that the hearing loss is new to them. I didn't lose my hearing until I had my daughter 24 years ago. So that in the last 24 years, it's a whole new radical idea for my family. My other disability, my cerebral palsy, has been for life. And they understand that. But it's also impacted them there because as I get older, things are getting a little worse. I'm not walking as much. I prefer using my wheelchair over walking because it's easier, it's less impactful on my body, and it just makes life a lot easier.
Question number 6. What were your biggest challenges participating in student campus life growing up?
My first experience on campus, of course, was a little child. I was at a school for all disabled people. That was great. But then my parents transferred me to a Catholic school where I was the only one there with a disability. And boy, did that bring a lot of change. I got teased a lot. People would try tripping me. They would laugh at me, make jokes. The typical bullying, as we call it today. But back then, it just was not fun. And I got harassed a lot. Fought a lot with other students. And then in high school, I was mainstreamed. And I encourage any family to mainstream their child. That's a great experience on campus that I think every child should have. College is when I started using a wheelchair because it made it faster for me to get around campus, made it less stressful on my legs, and it just made it a lot easier. But there were challenges there too, getting into buildings. They were not all easy to get into. Many of them were heavy. But I did it, and I encourage every person out there with a disability to don't let your disability stop your education, because you can learn so much there, and you can teach so many more people on a campus, and especially people your age. So do enjoy that, and just knock down those barriers. And I wish I could have done that when I was younger.
Question number 7. What do you like about your disability?
Well, as far as my hearing disability goes, my hearing loss, I like the fact that I can take my hearing aids out if I want to ignore people. It's kind of fun. I embrace my wheelchair now. I love it. I love getting around town. I love educating my city about where it needs to be safer for anyone in a wheelchair or a parent with a stroller. If you use wheels, it is not easy to get around in many communities. And I just love educating people where I live of what needs to be taken care of. And it's just a blast now.
Question number 8. How can someone become an ally to the disabled community?
I say get involved with as many disabled activities out there. Become a part of Project Hearing. You can learn a lot about the hearing loss community and many other disabled people like myself who not only hearing loss but also in a wheelchair. Just get involved in your community. Reach out to others. Learn about disabilities in general, because you'll be surprised. And remember, everyone in this world at some point will have a disability, and you need to remember that. So get out there, see other people, meet other people, become our allies, and we can help you as much as you can help us. So do keep that in mind, and I do hope to help you in the future.
Make a donation to the Project Hearing page. You can do that by going on the Project Hearing website. All the funding that we raise, donations, workshops, is going to be used for the Hearing Access and Inclusion Conference. This is going to be our second annual conference. Last year, we got sponsored by Google, and this year, we need you to help us make the conference happen. Again, 100% of the money we make is going to go into making the future accessible and making sure that that conference we have in July on the 31st anniversary of the Americans with Disabilities Act is accessible to people with hearing disabilities. So go ahead and make that donation. Follow us on social media. And if you want to keep in contact, email us at hello@projecthearing.com. Until next time.
Want to follow up with some more questions? Submit them using the link tree in our bio and hear the response during our AMA live series happening every Friday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern on Instagram and Facebook Live. Follow Project Hearing's YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook pages using the handle Project Hearing, and follow the conversation using the hashtag AMA Project Hearing.